Sabrina Carpenter, Espresso has that bright, radio-ready pop vocal sound. But here is what most people miss. It's not about one or two specific plugins. It's a carefully layered vocal chain that creates that depth, width, and sparkle. Today, I'm breaking down my chain to create that type of sound. Let's dive in.
And now he's being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's the me espresso.
Hi, my name is Nico and I've built a Sabrina Carpenter Espresso style vocal chain. I'm building it using one vocal only, but in a recording studio situation, you should try to use several vocal takes to create doubles, harmonies, and octaves. So that's what we're building today. Let's start with the foundation. First thing I'm using is an RComp compressor. You want to use 4:1 or 5:1 ratio with a fast attack, and you can leave the release on auto.
And now he's being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's the me espresso.
The compressor here is used to glue the vocal together, catch the peak before the EQ. This keeps everything consistent. You want to make sure the vocal stays as linear as possible so it can sit nicely over the instrumental. Next, I'm going to use an SSL Channel EQ. You can notice the vocal sounds already pretty good, so I'm going to be focusing on carving out and cleaning up the tone. I'm going to use a high pass up to 150 Hz. You might think it's a lot, but it's actually okay because the instrumentation is fairly low and you don't really need that much in the vocal.
Being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so.
Then I'm going to cut around 300 or 400 Hz, the low mids, to clear out the mud.
Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's the me espresso.
Lastly, the high hand or sparkle, a boost with the high shelf all the way open to 16K. I'm adding about 3 dB of it. It really creates that extra air and sparkle to the tone.
Move it up, down, left, right, oh. Switch it up like Nintendo. Say you can't sleep.
At this point, you could add a de-esser at the end if you feel like your vocal are too sibilant, but in this case, I think I'm okay. So we have the compressor to make sure the vocal is controlled, and we have the EQ to add that extra presence and sparkle. Next, I'm going to use little AlterBoy Formant shift. Shifting the Formant switches the character just slightly. I'm putting it only at 0.4 here, but you can really hear that it creates that extra presence that pop music has. This is kind of a secret weapon.
Now he's being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's the me espresso.
We're not changing the pitch, we're just increasing the Formant slightly. It makes the vocal sound slightly more youthful.
And now he's being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's the me espresso.
The +4 Formant shift is subtle but powerful. Most people skip or don't know about this step, but you can really change the whole attitude of the voice. Now we're going to create dimension using reverbs and delays. All the effects from now on are going to be on auxes and blended in very strategically. First, I'm going to be using a plate reverb with a decay time of 1.4 seconds and a pre-delay of 30 milliseconds. I'm also cutting the highs. I want to make the sound lush, but I don't want to make it sound too wet.
Now he's being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's the me espresso. Move it up.
Next, this is going to be our main delay. I'm going to be using EchoBoy on a stereo dual delay. I'll have a half note to the left and a quarter note to the right. I'm also filtering the highs and lows pretty heavily. This creates a rhythmic movement and stereo width without making it too effecty and too obvious.
And now he's being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's the me espresso. Move it up, down, left, right, oh. Switch it up like Nintendo. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know.
Next aux, I'm going to use EchoBoy again to create a type of slap delay. So I'm setting EchoBoy with a 16th note for that vintage slap. This adds thickness and that classic pop vocal vibe.
Being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's the me espresso.
Now I'm going to be using a J37 tape delay for warmth and analog character. This, in my opinion, adds a bit of movement with the vintage quality. I just really like it.
Now he's being believing at all. Said that's sweet, I guess so. Say you can't sleep, baby, I
next effects are gonna be to create that chorusy and width effect using microshifts and doublers. So you can create some of that width using a Microshift plugin. I have it set on heavy shift. This creates a natural stereo width without sounding too processed.
And now he's thinking about me every night. Oh, said that's sweet, I guess so. Take it.
Next, one of my favorite plugin, the Waves Doubler, and I'm gonna use it as a quad mode with the octaves down selected on 2 of the channels. This creates 4 voices from one with a subtle low octave for body. It's thick and wide.
Now he's thinking about me every night. Oh, said that's sweet, I guess so. Take it, sleep, baby, I know that's the me espresso.
And now one more doubler, the iZotope vocal doubler, which is free. I have it set with the separation at 96% and variation at 100%. This adds human-like imperfection that makes it sound like multiple takes. I just like that it just makes things sound super wide.
And now he's thinking about me every night. Oh, said that's sweet, I guess so. Take it, sleep, baby, I know that's the me espresso.
So you see I ended up using 3 different doublers that all add different characters, and the last effect layer are high octaves. For this I'm using little AlterBoy sets to an octave up. I moved the Formant to -2.4 so it doesn't sound too chipmunky. After the AlterBoy I'll put a doubler to create 2 extra voice out of that one. It's pretty subtle but it adds that extra polish. It's one of those effects that you're not really sure if you're hearing it, but once you mute it you can really notice that something is missing.
And now he's thinking about me every night. Oh, said that's sweet, I guess so. Take it, sleep, baby, I know that's the me espresso.
So to get that modern pop sound, it's not only about having a very clean lead vocal, it's about layers of effects supporting it. And that's the complete Sabrina Carpenter Espresso style vocal chain. I think the main tools to really play around are that Formant shifting with little AlterBoy and all the layered doubles. I really appreciate all the support and I'll see you on the next one.